Cancer, welcome to your May monthly reading. Hi, my name is Kelly Lunt, and I'm a medium for those of you who are new to me. And right before we get started, I want to let you know that if you're ready to meet your own spirit guides and develop your own spirituality, I put together a free meditation that will take you on a journey to the Temple of the Master so that you can meet your own spirit team. I also included a free mini manifesting course in that link. Just click the link, enter your email, and get it emailed right out to you. And also, don't forget, I go live on YouTube Monday through Thursday with free mini reads at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So come hang out. Okay, Cancer. So without further ado, let's dive into your reading. Well, ultimately, you're going through a balance and a shift so that you can enjoy more peace and harmony while you're in relationship with others. So the kind of like deeper soul level lesson that you're learning right now, wow, it's about like recognizing, it's about prioritizing relationships. So you got the Three of Embers cards, and do you see how she's a little distracted? It's like before you had always viewed relationships as a distraction, as like a drain, as like a, no, that's what I do when everything else in my life is sorted. That's what I do after work if I have time for it. So why is this person wanting to hang out with me? You just kind of like viewed it not as a burden, but just as like a distraction. But you got it crossed by the Fool card. This is the Fool card in traditional tarot. And everyone's been commenting about what cards I use. I'll link to it in the comments for you guys. It's Cosmos Visions. But the Death card doesn't mean like a physical death. It means like a complete like rebirth, like a crumbling of who you used to be to let out a new you. So this is overall like a huge identity shift, and that you're going to be like, whoa, who have I become? I can't believe I'm like going over to this person's house to help them. And whereas old me would have viewed asking for help with moving as a distraction, or like if they called me emotional, old me would have viewed that as that's what their girlfriends are for, or that's what their therapist is for. I don't want to help them. But you're going to find a new you like, oh, you're feeling sad? Do you want me to come over there and be with you? Okay, because what's going on underneath that, like the day to day, it's almost as if you used to get a lot of your social needs met from work and you didn't even know it. But now it kind of looks like that's been ripped away from you. And it's like you don't have that social support anymore. So you're starting to recognize that, like, just good old raw friendships, companionships, and of course, like a lover, you're just starting to recognize the full value of it from having that support ripped away. And that's so common, guys, especially like, when you're younger. Oh no, we're like family here. Yeah, you're family until there's a round of layoffs. And then you realize, oh, I'm dispensable to these people. Um, and a lot of times some friendships are based on around a hobby, or not around convenience, but around being in the same place at the same time. Because when they go work somewhere else, you just don't have as much things in common to talk about with them anymore. So it just kind of looks like you're going through the middle of that lesson, Cancer. So welcome to your mid-30s if you're in a first world country watching this. It looks like in your recent past, okay, so in your recent past, you definitely had like an awakening, maybe not an awakening, but like an acknowledgement of how powerful you are. Like, it's like a combo of I'm a strong individual, and there's a recognition of like you're only as powerful as the people and the team around you and the equipment that you have. But there's some of you that there's part of you that's becoming okay with maybe leaving the high fancy tech gear behind, maybe leaving that like fancy government job or that like fancy Silicon Valley job where you just have the best of the best and around you in terms of people and equipment. And you're recognizing like, no, I'm a good player. I'm really good at what I do. Whatever I put my mind to, I can accomplish. And so you're kind of becoming more empowered in like your sense of self and your ability. And you're also kind of becoming okay with like letting go. Well, okay, how do I word this to you? Because you're not becoming okay with it yet. You're like, this is the last stand card, like that, making the last stand, heavy grit. So you're making a last stand to like hold on to that fancy tech job or that fancy government job. You're like, no, I'm only as good as being around the people that I'm around and the equipment that I'm around. But this card is really speaking to you, saying that like the seed has already been planted and already started growing. And it is like a recognition that in any environment I'm in, I'm going to thrive. And after you make this last stand, there will hit a point where it's going to be, hey, it's okay if I'm not at the next $1 billion Silicon Valley tech startup scene, or if I'm not working that high-powered government position job, okay? But you're going to have a little bit of a journey through that, because it looks like right now in the current moment, you're like at a complete place of like making peace, at a complete space of like acceptance. That the fancy job, the fancy title, the power, that stuff is like not all it's cracked up to be. Like it's kind of like those things like, that was really cool when it lasted. I'm glad I had that experience. It's like, and now it's time to move on. So coming to the near future, well, let me pull a clarifying card there. Yeah, what that means though is that you've kind of come full circle. It's almost as if Cancer, it's as if you were like born into a situation of like extreme poverty, maybe, or maybe not extreme poverty, but like poverty. And you know, when you're growing up and you see that contrast, like my parents are poor, that's why we can't do anything cool. You as a kid can go, well, when I'm an adult, I'm going to go make a lot of money and I'm going to have the best around me. So that's what made you manifest that high-powered position. But now that you've had it for a while, you're like, wait a second, this is actually an incredible amount of stress. This is eating up too much of my time. There's other things that are more important than work, 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 work. And there's a little bit of recognition of like, I can make this kind of money in another way. Or some of you will be I'm willing to make a little bit less for less stress on my body. It's like this big old awareness of like, it's not worth the stress on my body. But this is the card that's saying like, this was a karmic lesson for you in this lifetime. And karmic lesson just means, my definition of it is that's what your soul came down to learn in this lifetime. But that is the world card, the traditional tarot. So it means like the cycle is complete. But like going into the near future, you're just having a bit of anxiety about it. Because it is kind of like well, if I'm not that person, if I'm not like the #1 contractor for the DoD, or if I'm not the most highly sought after full stack developer for the next $1 billion tech startup company, then like, how do I make money? Who am I? So it's kind of like you are kind of starting that new journey of like, well, who am I? How do I present myself? Because before I used to get respect by walking in and saying like, yeah, I'm a commander in the Navy, or I'm Navy SEALs. So it is kind of like well, how do I command respect now? How do I tell people about me? How do I show up? It's like really learning this whole new way to navigate social dynamics and social relationships. And so you kind of have a choice to view it as anxiety, or I'm learning a new skill set. No wonder why I'm not comfortable with it yet. It makes sense why I'm not comfortable with it yet, or at peace with it yet. It's a brand new skill for me. So you have the choice to be overridden by anxiety, or you have the choice to like find peace and harmony in the fact that it's a new skill. So it's okay that you're wobbly, right? Yeah, I can tell you that if you do choose to view it as, I'm just learning, I'm a competent person, and if I could do this high-powered position, I'm simply now putting my focus on getting better in social environments. Whatever I put my mind to, I can accomplish, and this is just the next area that I'm discovering how to be good in. This is just the next area that I'm mastering. If you could view it that way, you're going to be able to become a little bit more creative, a little bit more like dreamlike. It's kind of like those people who are whimsical. You used to have disdain for them, but you also used to have a sense of like, how do they live so carefree? So you're going to have a grounded sense, aka you'll have money, a grounded sense of, hey, I can be a little whimsical. I can take a 3-day weekend getaway if I want to. And you're going to like be able to feel like a little bit more mischievous in life. So you're not going to be so like, by the books, here's the rules. And just know that this whole transition is really going to help you get to that like happy home life, so that when you come home, like you're content. You're going to realize how good it feels to like be coming home to someone who's happy to see you. And like, hey, I had this for dinner. I saved some for you. Or maybe you got a traditional little wifey and it's like, I made this for you tonight. Um, Anything you put your mind to, you can definitely accomplish and achieve Cancer. And you're going to discover quite quickly how nice it is to have that contented, happy home life. Okay. In terms of, this is your personal power this month. Well, your personal power this month is to like just kind of let the crumble happen. Just let that old sense of identity completely fall. Just let it go. Because it's like, right, look at the picture. If you resist this change, is that boat, if it tries to like resist the storm, look at it, it's already going down. So you're only going to make it worse, but it's going to be a rocky fight. So if you're like fighting it, like, no, this is who I am. No, I don't want a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whichever way, okay? No, I don't want a girlfriend. That's not what's important. I built my whole identity off of this. This is who I am. You're going to be like this boat that's trying to fight the storm. Instead, if you just go, hey, I used to love navigating those choppy waters. Now I want to go to calmer waters, right? This boat can be carried to the shore with one wave. It turns its sails to work with the wind and with that wave, and you can like get carried off to safety. So you just got to let that sense of identity die and just go with, I am becoming a new person. I'm becoming a new person, and I get to discover the perks of it. I know what my monkey mind and my fear is telling me are going to be the downsides of the new job, of like the new way that doesn't have as much status and prestige. So I already know what the perceived downsides of it are, and I'm really open and ready to discover the upsides of it. Guys, I can tell you, when I used to do the Silicon Valley thing, it was a lot of stress. They would put pressure on you in startup scenes like, right, but your coworker is your friend, and if your friend has a deadline that they happen to miss and they need you to respond to a text at 7 p.m., you would respond right away, wouldn't you? Because you don't want your friend to get let down or look bad in front of the CEO, right? So it was like I'd go to dinner with a friend and then I'd have to go, hold on, it's been 30 minutes. Let me check my phone. Okay, we're good to go. Keep talking. Okay, hold on. I got home. Let me respond to this email. Oh my God, it's 9 p.m. It needs to be winding down, but let me pump out this thing. And then I would go to bed and I'd wake up. Let me check my phone to see if anything happened while I was asleep. Now I'm on the BART to get to work. Let me just check. Okay, I got off the BART before I do my 20-minute walk to work. Let me just make sure there's nothing there. That was just a lot of high intensity and stress and pressure. That the money was good, the prestige was good, but like the sense of self, just like being me and being okay with who I was, wasn't there. My sense of identity was definitely, this is my job. This is the company I work for. Yeah. But now it's more like a soft enjoyment of social activities. I'm like, you know, it is Friday night. Let's just go enjoy some music by the river. You know, I don't live in Silicon Valley anymore, where everything's like an hour and a half commute. So you have to be like on top of yourself and organized. Now it's like you call a friend. It's like, hey, can you do a quick favor for me? And they're like, you know what? I got 30 minutes. Yes, I can run to your house, pick this up for you, and drop it at the seamstress and get home from my meeting. Like, you can't get that in a big city, you know? So there's a bigger sense of like community and a bigger sense of like belonging. Like you don't feel as alone and as isolated. So there's just to maybe give you a little sneak peek for what your life might look like. You're just going to have more people you can call to rally behind you out of love, instead of people you can call who are coming to help you because they want the next promotion or because they want to hear your stories about your job. So it's really more about community and love versus prestige and status. And they're afraid if they say no to you, then you won't be there to help them. So instead of it being like fear and responsibility, it's more like love and upliftment. And yes, I want to like positively contribute to your life. Okay, in terms of outside influences, well, outside influences, it looks like your old life doesn't really want to let you go easily. Oh, so like you want to leave and go do the soft life, so you're a soft person now? Or like, well, who's going to do this? You're the one who like I don't know if you guys ever watched that TV series Lost, but you know how there was that like button they had to push, like I don't know if it's like every 2 hours so that the island like wouldn't blow up, you know? That's like what's coming to mind right now, that it's like, but if you don't do this job, who's going to keep like Russia from attacking China? I don't want to do something too realistic. So that was probably a bad example. Who's going to keep this place from attacking this place if you don't do it? Like there's definitely some guilt tripping and some peer pressuring from those around you to not let go. Oh, and in reality, they're just jealous that they can't let go of the stress and the pressure. That they haven't like let go of their like childhood trauma and stuff that led them to the career choice that you were previously led to. They're just a little jealous that they see it unraveling within you, and you're choosing the more peaceful, contented home life. So they're just jealous. Yeah, because for them, they see it as such a complicated maze to like get out of that lifestyle. And so they're like, how is he just unraveling it and already starting to let go of the responsibilities at work? Like, no, he just needs a little peer pressure to stay in. Um, yeah, but you're finding your path. And for them, they kind of like can't see how like anything other than this prestigious job is the path. Like they haven't learned to view the world in a way where you're not identified by your career or your title or the company status that you're at. And so they can't even perceive what you're going through. And they're like, no, no, no. Why does it look like he's more on his path now? Like, so they just can't understand it. Sorry, Cancer. I caught a little bit of a cold, but it's already May 6th. I didn't want to wait any longer to get the monthlies out. In terms of your hopes or fears, well, so there's a lot in this card. There's a little bit of, I hope this works out for me. I hope it brings more enjoyment out of life. I hope it's emotionally fulfilling. So that'd be like a little bit of the fear card, like, God, I hope this works out. You're like, trust fall, you know? But this is the ultimate card of like enjoying the little things of life. But you see how steep it is? So it is kind of like a trust fall. This feels really good. Oh my God, I don't just want to like slam into the floor though, you know? Like I hope when I get to the bottom that it's like a smooth kind of curve into the water. But there's also a little bit of you're surprised at how good you're feeling from letting go a little bit of the responsibility. Yeah, you're just really surprised at like, wow, that felt good to like not work that shift. That felt really good to not take on that next project, that next product launch, or that next high security government job. You know, you're just kind of surprised, like, hey, I actually felt okay not doing that. And your outcome for this month, it does kind of look like this. It could be a special someone. Not It's not the Two of Cups, which is the definite like romantic special someone, soulmate, life mate thing. Um, it could just be like a best friend, you know? It's almost as if you're gonna like call them and like be surprised that they're there to emotionally support you. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna sit there and listen to you talk for hours. It could just mean like a, whoa, buddy, like you quit your job? Wow, you don't have your next one lined up? Like they're just gonna know that you're going through a lot and they're just gonna like come over and be there for you. Um, and it's just gonna like touch your heart, and you're gonna have this moment where you're like, okay, it was worth it to give up that prestigious career. Um, all right, are there any last little messages for Cancer? Oh, keep going. You're going to be surprised at this more. Is gregarious the right word? I don't know. Let me look that up really quick. Vocabulary isn't. Oh, yeah, that's the word I meant. You're going to be surprised at like how gregarious you can be and how like entertaining you can be in a group setting and especially one-on-one. And it's like all I'm hearing from spirit right now is that it's simply because you haven't put your focus and your mind here in this area. That's why you think you're bad at it. Like you're not inherently bad at it. You just never put your focus there. Like because of whatever your childhood was, you put your focus on prestige, money, authority, responsibility, power, right? And so just like any ticker, it goes from this side to this side, and then eventually it finds the middle. So gosh, you guys must be around mid 30s. Comment below, let me know. I'm dying curious because this is just kind of the typical transition people go through in their mid 30s. And so you're also going to like discover, you're going to discover your protective side is going to come out more for protecting the peace and harmony for the mental and emotional bodies of your friends and close ones. Instead of, I have to keep pushing this button so the bomb doesn't go off, or I have to do the next product launch to make sure the next Apple iWatch is the next biggest, baddest thing ever, you're going to be like, hold on. Your boss is giving you a hard time at work. Let me review that email for you. Here's how you respond to him. So you're just going to like put your focus on recognizing like, no. So it's kind of like you're going to get that Papa Bear energy. Like, no, my friends, my loved ones, my girlfriend, my kiddos, to have a peaceful mind and a heart, a calm heart and a heart full of love. And you're really going to discover like how good at romantic relationships you could be. But this is definitely like a after you go through this transition type of a thing. You're going to get a lot more enjoyment out of relationships than you think you are, Cancer. That's what I can say to you. All right, guys, I hope this reading helped you. Again, I go live Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube. So come hang out and get a free mini read. If you want to meet your spirit guide, the link for that free meditation is right up there. And lots of love to you this month. Bye, guys.